looks like they're just going to try and take down the gatekeepers.
Moment AgronXA, that 3-player squad, MTech Storm on the bridge, sandwiched between, and in a really open and barren position for MTech Storm. They can't move forwards into AgronXA, they can't move backwards now with the Mad Bulls coming on through and pushing in. Tarman needs to find a pick. That's all they can do, really. Look for a pick, try and exploit that, because it is not going to get any easier right now.
Tarman misses his nade on that side. In the meantime, Mad Bulls bringing one of their players back into the fold. I8, IQ will find Tarman, in which case Blade is going to try and finish this player off. Remember, the more players that I8 can remove from MTech's side, the quicker that they'll be able to start dealing with Mad Bulls. And this is a dangerous push here coming through from Skills, as maybe not aware that there is another team on the other side of the bridge. Ghost also still remaining over towards those fields, and Skills gets found by a very nice little angle from MTech Storm.
These bridges are so dangerous. Those little catwalks at the side, when you drop down low, your feet are so exposed to someone on the other side, and you have to be worried about a player on the same line as you. It's another piece of cover to aid in crossing these bridges, but it is very, very dangerous if you don't have full control, which Skills has found out here. Able to drop a smoke away from a teammate and maybe looking for that res for the Mad Bulls to keep them up at 3, which would be almost vital for their future movements. R8 are going to be starting to come through as well from this north side, potentially proving to be tricky on the push. Skills is spotted, but they do not want to let this one go for MTech Storm. A lovely nade over the top, and Monkey is going to fall. Zerich drops down all the way to the ground, and this is the other way that you can try and cross here, is try and go for the swim. Spray over towards the player up on the catwalk, does not go well, does not connect, and the Mad Bulls are swept aside.
Mad Bulls, I think there's an incredible amount of nerves and pressure coming onto this team. It is very unlike them to be playing in this kind of way. They feel all over the place at the moment, and to be honest with you, at the current trajectory, I don't see them climbing out from that bottom 5, which is a massive shame, honestly, with the way that they played in Western Europe. It really does not translate very well into PMGC at the moment. Like, you look at the 2 performances they had in their individual PMPLs and the championship, I don't think that this lobby in particular is that much of a step up for them. So the fact that they're playing like this, I think there's huge amount of pressure on them right now coming towards a LAN format.
Ooh. That one looked devastating. But he somehow gets away with that. I thought that might have been a headshot from Godtani there.
I think it was. Might have been level 3.
Yeah, I think it's a level 3 helmet in play to be able to save you from that one.
It's the only way that happens.
Yeah, Box holding with 2 in the building. Titan looking to take them away from it. Box do have the position on the outside, but the burn is good. Teak lights it up, shreds them down, forces the backup from Soaz. Trismay. On the side swipe, though, opens up, and Titan lose 1, 2, and 3 very, very quickly. I think that's the Infinity coming in to be a third party on this engagement. And now they can start to will be continuing to put that pressure onto Titans. Box capitalized, 3 players up and into the building.
I mean, Trismay has been significantly particular. He's great at delaying a lot of this engagement, but Trismay is really the one that finds those big hitters.
The bridge on the west, a battlefield strewn with boxes. Everybody looking to cross. It was unlikely that they'd have to make this decision, but they're looking to try and make good on it now. That western bridge, AgronXA actually looking to regroup on the south side. They're falling away a little bit. R8 and MTech Storm embroiled on the northern side of the bridge. S2G as well. But only the 1 player left, that's Ray Z, on that west bridge as well.
I mean, a lot of these players fell into the pit trap of not going to Military Island early on. When you get a circle that crosses so much like we did on Zone 2, I think you have to send down towards Sosnovka Military Base one way or the other if it's not crossing through the water or just sending it across the bridge. If if you don't do it early enough like BTR did, where, you know, they're coming down from Yaz and they took their time about it and they took a little bit too long as well, you just have this instance where you are just caught out in the cold and you're not getting in. No one brought their jackets to a wrangler in this case, so freezing to death on that side, it is just painful, really. So a lot of these teams that got quick movement over towards this side of the map, very happy. I think LGD have really played their cards right, heading towards Ferry Pier, weighing out some of those engagements on the western side, taking that boat, and then heading in underneath on the south. They could set themselves up for a very big win here.
It seems like too many teams went for the call of going over those bridges and have been caught up in it, and not too many have gone for those boat rotations or trying to go for the swim. Titan still under pressure in this fight against Box. Two of them were alive, but one of them quickly dispatched. Six holding out on the inside, gets one knock, but traded off nicely by Bensu. Enigma Galaxy, Bigatron, this is on the north side of Military Island right now. There are players out in the water from Team Queso just to the north side of it. Bigatron still handling them. They're pinging them away. Freak falls as well. These days are pretty good for a Bigatron. They're working out. Hamodi down to the shots from Luxy up the top of the hill. Zuxi and Jen Foster trading off one of those possessions. Ralph falls. Lord over in the building.
Queso.
Last player standing. Team Queso trying to rise from the depths. But there's only Papi Potro close enough in the fight. Reyes at the back looking for a heal. Dispatched one. Papi Potro good for one frag. Can he find the next? It's an even fight right now on the hillside. Jen Foster is able to win that one out though. A heavy hitter for the Bigatron roster. And really bolstering them here. Reyes, for the Team Queso, though, has been equally strong. Despite their position at the bottom of the tables, this is a man you cannot count out just yet. Luxy moves in for the regroup, and they want the 2v1.
Oh, this is greedy from Luxy, but I like it. Comes in, picks up the double, now looks for one more. Reyes, though, massively clutch player here for Team Queso. Pulled them out from a lot of situations where things looked extremely dire. But Luxy moves up with the grenade, spots Reyes as he retreats away. He looks to just pick up some more loot, but this circle will start to hurt just a little bit in zone 4, but gets as much loot on as possible, knowing that he'll need these nades later on. At this point, I think for them, it's just a case of leaving, but Luxy sticks around for too long here, and only Jem Foster and Zuxi makes it away. Either way, though, for BTR, this is a good result, considering where they were in the circle for a long time.
I feel like there was a little bit of a misstep from Luxy. They knew exactly where Reyes was. They knew he was going to have to move with the blue zone. You're waiting for that peak. You know it has to happen. And Luxy felt just completely open on the broadside, stood up on the headland. There was no refrag potential. I don't think that was the smartest of decisions. But they get away with 2 and leave Reyes as 1 for Team Queso on the north side.
Maybe in the heat of the moment, you've eliminated 4 players, and then you go for the 5th, and you're like, surely there can't be any more players alive here, or at least they've retreated. But yeah, Luxy goes for a little bit of a looting session and forgets there's no vehicle available to him. Again, BTR have been struggling through on that north side, so you can kind of understand where some of those small mistakes might bleed into the gameplay. Either way, 6 eliminations and living through that, again, whilst being trapped on that northern coastal side for a while. Quite impressive. They are taking shots now from over 4 rivals. Jen Foster will drop out the vehicle and get knocked. Better than being blown up. But again, Reyes is still in the wings, and it looks like 4 rivals are going to send in to finish the job.
In the meantime, over on the southwest side of the military base, they're going to say finally finished the job against MTech Storm. A fight that's been going on since about zone 2 on that western bridge. Will have moved over to the control tower. The circle centers LGD's way.
I mean, LGD have been holding some incredible positions throughout this game. DRS obviously starting on Sosnovka. I said they didn't have to move until later with it being so much towards that side of the map, and they haven't, which affords them some good position within the circle. Again, though, LGD, with this 2-2 split that we've been seeing quite frequently from them, are able to claim a lot of landmass for their own, and DRS do have a little bit of a difficult push towards that western side, considering it's uphill just a little bit, and YZZ as well as CCC will be able to watch down towards them. Buradam aren't comfortably in yet either, having to cross some open ground. So I'd say for LGD, their main problems are 4 rivals on their northern side, and maybe some cheeky pickoffs onto maybe YZZ or CCC, because they don't have a huge amount of cover.
Reyes managed to get past 4 rivals there. Find some cover, but LGD have spotted out the position. will take the shots over that way. You can't hold near the buggy. It will go up in flames exactly like that. And you can't crawl away from it up the hill. Your legs will show and you'll go down to the gunfire. Damned if you do, damned if you don't there. But that will draw Team Queso's run to an end for this game. And LGD still hold in that central area.
Yeah, I think this could be a really good opportunity for LGD to actually bump up their point scoring to the next level, really. And again, I was saying yesterday, a lot of these Chinese teams take a couple of days to adapt to our meta, to be honest with you. They're playing on almost their circle settings, but not quite. Either way, they're just getting back into the action of it. You can see now they're feeling a bit more comfortable, being a little bit more like they can start to frag out, strike out. And I do like this positioning, this aggressive amount of control they're taking over the map. And again, this is not from an easy position. They came from crates in South George, John, down towards Ferry Pier, avoided a lot of that engagement, boated it round, got onto the island, moved towards this position and took a 2-2. So this is a lot of things having to come to pass for LGE to get into this position. And it certainly wasn't easy, but they took the test with flying colours.
Well, have made it happen. This is a lot of sequential smart decisions coming through from LGD, I think, is the direction this is going. So happy to see that start to stand up, as you say, into this differing meta they've ventured in towards. DRS from the eastern side still playing right on the edge. They don't want to give up that high ground just yet. Kengzo with the SKS. Shots over towards Killer. Smoke blooms on it. But the tires have already gone, so it's going to be difficult to move away in that. That should be okay, though, as the Dacia rolls downhill fairly well. Actually, sends it up to the top side as well, regrouping with the rest of the team.
You've got that valley down towards that western side, and I think Killer was a really important anchor for them on that side of the map. But with Buddhadam spotting that one out, even 4 rivals looking down towards that position, it's difficult for Killer to stick around there for too long. You saw he was having to invest smokes, and he doesn't really want to do that early on here. You know, there's still around 8 minutes more of the match to go at this point in time, in which case they'll need those smokes later. Circle heads over towards the west here, all encompassing of LGD at the moment. You question how long they're going to go for this 2-2 split, and realistically, I think they have to continue to pull it out. So this will require them to hit some really nice shots on any players coming in towards the circle, because CCC and YZZ are important to spot the players on the eastern side, and MVM and Suki have to remain in this position because it's a strong compounded area for the rest of the team to regroup on.
4 rivals looking to start to move in on that northern side, and as you said, they are currently LGD's main threat. That hill just to the east of LGD, they have looked for that regroup, so they are not going to go for the 2-2 split anymore. They just want to hold out in a little bit of a central area, so they've left that hill.
I think that's actually kind of a smart move, because yes, they could hold out towards YZZ and MVM and maybe take shots down towards DRS or the players that are down on the airstrip, but heading towards this compounded area, yes, it's not directly in the central of the map, but it still is probably the best position that they can hold from and have influence on the rest of the lobby. So I like this play from LGD. They didn't get too greedy with their 2-2 with their 2-2 split, but they were able to at least get some information gathered. DRS, though, still would really love to get a big game here, considering they're 115. They're actually in a position to break into the top 3 if they have a massive match here on game 1.
Was Kengzo there the whole time? Underneath Buddhadam?
Yeah, he's chilling.
I think it might have been, but finally they spot him out. Take him down in the hangar. God, Tunny has been surviving for quite a while for the Infinity. Made it up to 6th place now. DRS crunching in from that east side. 4 rivals on the open hills as well. LGD not there to slow things down, but they are going to take those sightlines over towards that old position. Voki, was he not spotted there? I don't think he was. My name from Buddhadam taking a shot over towards DRS. This is open ground, a lot of sightlines from the south side.
It's Jason's boy right there, my name P. I look to take it to the masses inside the lobby at the moment. Voki looks to finish off the players from DRS. Again, an unfortunate result for DRS if they go down early here. I know there's only 6 teams remaining, but considering they started over on Sosnovka military base and had a lot of time to pick up positions within the circle, more central, it is an unfortunate ending for them. And right now they're getting picked apart from Buddhadam as well as 4 rivals. And we'll go out with a big goose egg of elimination. 0 there. That is terrible news for them from what was kind of a game that should have gone in their favor.
They had a lot of opportunity to rack up a lot more points, but they will fall on that hurdle. Buradam, though, looking to close the gap between them and top spot Influence Kemen. Influence Kemen going down fairly early as well to a pretty comprehensive engagement. They have got that opening Tiger down on the close fight between them and 4 rivals.
Oh, that is unfortunate for Buradam.
Goes short of the tree. Rez can go through. Should be able to get Tiger back up. Nappy wants to push out wide with Pemburu. Kengzo in for the backup. They want to hold off the remainder of 4 rivals. Only 2 players there, so they have 3 barrels against the 2. Pemburu spotted on the side swipe, but Kengzo falls to Pemburu. Nappy pushes forwards, wants another. Will be able to find it, but it's cut down finally by Tiger after that res. Crucial. Pemburu is still in the action, and in comes the final player from Buradam to try and keep them in this one. Tiger knows he's there, and Tiger does the job with the nade. They can get these reses. Can they stay up as 4? And do they have the time?
Yeah, I mean, they have to stay up as 4 if they want to challenge out versus LGD. The circle is a little bit slow at this point in time. Again, LGD has played a really phenomenal game here. Yes, it hasn't been a high elim game. We don't see a lot of high elim games coming through from LGD recently, but they've made the right macro decisions to get to this point and have set themselves up fantastically to win this game out. Again, like you said, and I really like the way you put it, John, it is a sequential sequence of just having like a lot of well-informed decisions throughout the entire game, and that has led to this point where they're set up for a chicken dinner. However, John, Buradam so far have shown themselves to be a fantastic teams when it comes to controlling area, controlling space, and not from ideal positions either. So this is a really good opportunity for Buradam to show us what they've got and explain to us exactly why they deserve to be in that top 3.
Currently sat at 1 chicken dinner for Buradam. LGD, similarly, on that first as well. So, we'll be able to double up on that one. Aegon XIA, not been so lucky. They've had a 2nd place and 2 thirds, but this could be their first chicken dinner if they make it away from the wall, but you don't think that's going to be very likely. With a little bit of a light up on the nade, that is good news for Buradam to take the thorn out of the side, and the last elim goes through. Now, it's a 4v4.
How does he nade himself and a teammate at this point in the game? It's so crucial. I was going to congratulate I8 on getting this far, but I feel like I do sort of come away from it. Head-to-head win rate, 20% for Buradam? Okay. I mean, respect it. I feel like Buradam's done more incredible things in the past, though. I think this is more 60-40, in my opinion, towards LGD. Buradam is definitely nothing to scoff at, and LGD feeling a little bit cold coming into this game after not having a lot of action their way. It's been a lot of rotates for them, looking for those placements, and for me personally, Buradam is very good at setting up a massive line and being able to pick off targets individually.
But Buradam, they have been suffering. They've been in these fights a lot more. They'll have more utility, but their armor, their helmets, their meds will have been drained a little bit. LGD, though, you can see very, very healthy on those armor and meds, but no helmet for some of the players on Buradam. It's not ideal. Means you can't really peek up too far. Tiger gets the angle on the wall, but LGD still in the circle. 3 of the players there. Tiger denied that sightline.
I mean, it's so cool watching Buradam play, though, because they're constantly shifting positions. You can see LGD being caught out by this a lot of times, switching positions onto the wall side. Buradam's there to take the shots. They move away from the wall. Immediately, Tiger's already repositioning, never allowing LGD to get a certain bead on where they're playing, not allowing these grenades to be perfectly placed. That one's quite far on target. Tiger does take a lot of damage, but you imagine they're going to start moving again. You're right, though. The medical supplies are what's really becoming rough now for Buradam, but 3 smokes, 4 nades, that's good enough. And for Buradam, they know the direction that LGD is playing, and so if they can wait out the game a little bit longer and allow this circle to push in, they might be able to get some really big nades over towards LGD, who've been holding in this compound. It's the only area they can come from, John.
The big issue is CCC are behind this tree. He's stopping any sort of aggression coming through on split angles, and is a linchpin of the defense right now for LGD. Almost solo suppressing and actually giving them a foothold to move out, because this circle will fully close now. Enzo, my name as well, spraying over towards the rotate. Will not find it, but Sky only gets one for Wand. YZ down and flushed. As you say, a good start coming through from Buradam. They might be able to look for this res, but the swing out comes from the buggy, and the arm lobs the nade over the top. Will not find the flush. The Molotov might do, though, but that's an excellent cut down on the back for Kengzo, striking from the off angle for Buradam. They lose one player, but they bring LGD down to two. CCC spraying through the smoke. Suki is there. 1, 2 fall for Buradam. It's now a 1 versus 1 as we're trading off on the hillside. Suki against Kengzo. Kengzo up and on the ridgeline. A nade in hand, wants to put that back. Only Molotovs available for Suki, and I think he knows where he is. The nade is there. Will it be on target? Takes a lot out of the health bar of CCC, but will not put Suki back. 3 nades there for Suki. 1 nade for Kengzo left after he loses that. But they both avoid, and they both want to get a teammate back if they can. Kengzo faster on it.
I mean, this is why those grenades were so important for Kengzo, and he held on to so many of them. He's had 4 to basically push Suki off this position. Now, they should have a good idea of where he's playing down the hill and setting that into a 2v1 off the back of some well-placed grenades to deny the res. Really, really well done to Buradam. Now, 1v2, definitely not unwinnable for LGD at this stage, but it will be a real crushing defeat for LGD to go down after what has been such a smart game from them.
Oh, Kengzo out into the blue, knocked to the zone. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Yes, coming through from Suki. LGD want to put the final bullet in.
Such a smart game from them.
Oh, Kengzo out into the blue, knocked to the zone. Oh, that's so unfortunate. It will be LGD.
A falter towards the end there, John, from Buradam, sending out into the play zone as well. Getting knocked by the blue. A really bad turn of events. I think Kengzo played that endgame pretty perfectly from his side to enable the rest of his team to get back up on their feet to maybe potentially help him with Suki. But again, I love that they had the DBS available to them in the endgame. They knew this would come down to the zone 8, considering where they were, so hold on to one of those biggest close quarter combat weapons. A really, really smart decision. Again, a lot of decisions come to this place, and the one that wins it all is deciding to hold on to a shotgun for the late game. A really, really cool game from LGD. Definitely a little bit.
And gentlemen, LGD clutching it out somehow. 1v2. Well, technically it wasn't 1v2, right? It was 2v2 because he had the help of the blue.
A bit squeaky towards the end there, but LGD pulled the chicken dinner out the bag.
Absolutely fantastic stuff coming through from LGD. Buradam with a blinder of a game as well. That will surely put a dent in the gap between them and Influence Chem, and as daunting as it might be, it can still be closed. There is still time to do so. Fantastic stuff from both of those final teams. That was an excellent final circle, but LGD take the chicken dinner.
Their minds in this match, and that was one of the best finishes of the event so far.
Oh yeah, and I mean, we saw how they managed to get themselves in that position in the first place, taking that early rotation, seeing how many teams decided to rotate on the eastern bridge, on the western bridge, or even decided to go swimming through the middle. But no, they decided to take a rotation from Ferry Pier, ignoring all the fights, getting themselves in prime position to take control of the game. And this is exactly what you talked about, Maximum, before, and this was the main reason I believe that made you choose LGD as your team to watch for the tournament. So good call.
Max is like, this is weird. I'm not used to being given compliments.
Hi.
But as you take a look at our overalls here, look at this. You're talking about Influence Gem, and they can be safe in first place, but can they? Barium, 10 points behind them.
It's not as safe as I thought.
Right? I mean, the
For
upside
sure.
is,
Now-
right, they still have like a 40-point gap between them and third place, but if you know, S2G step up, if Bigatron step up, DRS, like Influence, if they can't maintain performances, they could technically be knocked out of top 3.
Yeah. The thing is, they already had that much of a gap for them in their first place that they're still safe, but like 2-3 games, so they're not getting too many points. And you know, Buriram being extremely consistent yesterday and today is looking pretty good. What's not looking good though, Sandstorm, is alright, 15. What do you think of that?
Queso 16th, so it's not the worst. That's about it. But no, like here's the thing. When we're
Difference
talking about
got 0.
R8 and Team Queso, these are two teams that are yet to get a podium in the first place. They haven't managed to get themselves a top 4 in 13 games so far. Every other team has managed to do so. So their problem right now is just get a podium and then see if you can compete for the survival stage, because as of right now, it is getting increasingly more difficult for both of these teams, alongside Mad, EMT, and maybe even for Rivals All, to try and get themselves into the survival stage. But it's just getting very, very difficult, especially for R8 and TQ. And something has to change. I mean, I said something has to change yesterday, but I think we might be getting to the point where it's too late already for both of these teams.
Well, you know what? I do want to bring our attention back to the last match a little bit, because I feel like Zone 2, when that popped, I think, Sandstorm, you said it's going to be a milli finish, Military Island finish, and Max was immediately like, no, it's not going to happen. But it actually went super far south to Military Island. I'm kind of feeling for all the teams who obviously weren't dropping that location. DRS, they dropped down there towards the eastern side, and yet DRS, I expected a little bit of better performance out of, considering they had the avenue to potentially gatekeep some teams, pick up some eliminations, but they had none until like the very end potentially, and then they went up against 4 rivals and lost that fight. So I was like kind of disappointed with the DRS we saw yesterday come into this match. I thought they would have performed better.
Yeah, you had kind of 2 different styles that we saw on each bridge. So on the eastern bridge, you had DRS, who decided to hold for maybe just a minute, and then as the second Titans broke through, a lot of other teams decided to rotate, do exactly the same thing. DRS just gave up. There's no way that they can hold the bridge when a team's already passed. They might be able to flank you afterwards, and they decided to just go into the zone. When you look on the opposite side, though, you had IA, who usually drops a military base, but the zone didn't really help them in that situation. So they had a 3-1 split, and you had 3 squads fighting. It was IA, you also had MTech, and I believe it was Team Queso as well on the eastern bridge, all trying to fight. But it was just so congested for such a long time that a lot of teams just lost so many players, and they weren't able to compete in the later stages.
Hey, otherwise, what you can do, you do what LGD did, you rotate. You just avoid all of that mess happening on the east and western bridge, and you just rotate and be relatively quick, because we saw it was a hard shift straight south. You know the bridges are going to be congested, teams are going to try and cross that river. You just hold on to the southern side of the circle the entirety of that game, and that's what LGD did. You're going to have top priority for those great central positions. That's why they had such a great 2-2 split for that game, because they were the first team to get access to that position by avoiding all that skirmish happening on the bridges. So yeah, if you're able to read the circles like that, it's great, and that's what I saw LGD do in PEL, and that's what they were able to actually pull through in this game. So great from LGD. I want to see more of this kind of macro playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, now that you're not actually having them as a team to watch, they're starting to perform, at least for both of you. You guys at home who are watching, make sure to check out the YouTube chat link. You actually will have a survey there. You can go ahead and potentially win prizes if you fill it out, so make sure to go fill it out as soon as possible. but obviously within the next 6 minutes because we have the next match coming up shortly here. But Max, man, really quickly, you were talking about LGD when we saw them in PEL. Is this the LGD you saw then?
I would say this is way closer to what I saw in PL. The thing they did so well in PL is knowing how the lobby as a whole would react to every single circle, and they would get priority to positions that teams would try and get access to, but they would just always be there first, and they were there first in this. For the first time, them playing at this level, at PMGC outside of their region, it took a lot of time to adapt, but if this is their new kind of normal performance, they're feeling good. They're feeling comfortable, and this is a team that can be willing to climb up the leaderboards.
Well, you can see here our top performers when it comes to Miramar, which will be coming up next. S2G,
Wow.
24 limbs, 31 rank points. What were you wowing at, Max?
I'm wowing at Aegon X I8's average survival time on Miramar. Like, sure, it's not as much.
Mẹ kép phải rồi tôi quay bè rồi cái nụ cái méo cái quay gì